I thought we'd take a look at some of the locations in the Skimmer novel series. There's a number of them that are in the book that we'll talk about. So we've got, first of all, the Exeter Ocean Academy. So this is where crews of skimmers do all their training. It's based in New Caledonia, and set up by the Australians in collaboration with the uh, government of France. So, and it's an academy. So people join XED that are going into robotics and drones and automated technology. But they graduate into the academy if they're accepted into the crew training program for these subsurface mining skiffs. So there's quite a long history behind how that was set up in the book. That's a whole other story. But when they get out of the Skimmer crew program, they then are transported out on a transport drone to the giant Chinese-owned harvester, which is where the skimmers offload the manganese nodules from 4,000 metres below in the area for processing at the harvester in the moon pools along conveyor belts and robotic arms that take them off. So they end up out there. So they work within the area to get these manganese nodules. And so contractors own the skimmers, of course, or lease them. And they then have an agreement under the authority for working in the area under regulations for mining to transport those nodules to this Chinese-owned mineral harvester, and then they're offloaded to ships and taken away, of course. And then, in addition to that, you've got monitoring and compliance out there in the area as the authority calls it. And the Sea Hunters, a ship or a set of ships, two are autonomous and one is manned, and they board skimmers using an interceptor and breaching pods. So essentially down at 100 metres below where the skimmers operate, these breaching pods are attached to interceptor drones which encircle a skimmer, and then the breaching pod detaches and attaches itself to the top side of the skimmer so it doesn't interrupt the mining operation. That was the main thing in the book. And then they board it and they do compliance checks for abiding by the regulations for conducting mining operations in the area under the tenures of the leaseholders or lease owners. So that's how that works. There's a whole lot of set of requirements around what they can and can't do when they board a skimmer to do checks to ensure the safety of life at sea. So there's quite a bit of background research gone into how that works under current maritime regulations. And just quickly, because I don't want to keep this short, 3 to 5 minutes, then we have the skimmers themselves. Now there's a big story about how the skimmers came to be, and I'm going to leave that for other talks later on. But the skimmers, they work at 100 metres below sea level. They look nothing like a conventional submarine. There's a whole piece of technology that was developed around that to do with Australia and a bit of input from the Chinese. And that will become evident when you read the books. So I'll leave it at that for now. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm just trying to give an overview, and we'll bore down into the detail of things as we move forward. Again, avoiding the plot. I do not want to destroy the reader's enjoyment of discovering what the plot's all about. So take it from me, that's it for now, and we will talk more about this as we move forward.